Hi everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access TV.
And I'm Kim Anderson. I'm on the board of MCAT, and I'm the Director of Programs and Grants at Humanities Montana.
I want to welcome you to this chilly Monday version, this post-Pascal.
This is the year without summer.
Chill, right? No, don't say it.
I'm believing it.
It's Monday, it's April 17th around 4, but you'll see the show every day for 2 weeks. We'll come back on the 29th. And then we'll do 2 shows in May, and we're on summer holiday.
That's it.
Yeah. But we want to thank you for joining us. We've got an hour show with local nonprofits, and I have a few things to say about MCAT to doing. One is to remind you that our summer camps are available for kids between the ages of 9 to 13 in the first 3 summer camps, and then kids that are 13 to 18 can be in the zombie movie making summer camp. All the details are at mcat.org, so you can find out which camp might appeal to you. There's a number of things your kids could do during the summer camp, and Scott's going to show. You can click on the picture, Scott, and show them that there's 5 different camps there.
Yeah.
Media camp, a wildlife documentary camp, 2 animation sets, because kids really like that. And then for the older kids, the gothic, scary zombie movie making. There will only be a handful of Saturday animation drop-in opportunities. As the weather's turning nice, we're going to stop doing it the Saturday before Memorial Day weekend. But prior to that, you can come to MCAT with your kids. 9 to 13 is about the age group we recommend. It's $10 to spend 4 hours doing stop animation with our Lego set. That seems to be the major thing anyway.
Yeah.
There could be some other wireframe characters. There's also stop animation drawing. I was telling Kim that we got a donation, very kind, from Sterling Statney at Sterling Productions for many years, and part of his donation will be part of my history of media production at the library. One of these things is a reel-to-reel VHS recorder.
Oh my God.
So people at home, you may remember the VHS and the cassette.
But
Before that was invented,
reel-to-reels.
right? It was a reel-to-reel. And he also has some reels. What we're missing is a connecting cable. It's very ancient. But some of the tapes he left us was such and such a professor directing drama, University of Montana, 1973. So that could be a hoot. And in black and white is what they did. But these small recorders, were the very first kind of videotape recorders that allowed people to make their own television programming in the mid-'70s, which really led to little production places like MCAT. So I think that's a bit of groovy. And then the MCAT biggest news is our 27th anniversary party.
Our party.
Right. It's May the 5th. It is the first Friday. It's during Gallery Walk. You're invited to come over to our temporary digs at the Downtown Dance Collective. It's located at 121 West Broadway, just a few stores in from the main drag of Broadway.
Like
and
across from the parking garage.
Yeah, across from the parking garage. We're going to have, I guess, really great food and drink of the usual giveaway sort. I've been working on...
Or better.
I've been working on the archives of MCAT. So I have city council meetings from 1990. I've got the grand opening
Because how
party.
fascinating would those be, right?
I mean, you can see some people. Jeff Birnbaum is there, and he's making a proposal to the council, and they're showing like a plat on an overhead projector,
Right.
And there's Chuck Stearns, who went up to Whitefish.
Olden times.
Right, and he's pointing with a yardstick. And what they're describing is their headquarters down on California Street.
Oh my gosh.
And that was 27 years ago,
Right.
before it was built and all that.
So there's going to be a lot of different things going on at the
That's
party,
right. We're going to be offering our virtual reality headset,
Which is
so you
cool.
could try this out in the facility. There's like a rehearsal room that's semi-private, so we're going to set that up. We'll also have a photo opportunity to take pictures with your friends and loved ones there, and we're going to have the musical notes of Asaph Adonai in a little Caribbean parklet in front of the facility. And he is going to be wearing the watercolor tuxedo.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you need any more enticements,
You gotta
you're
come.
probably a party
You gotta
pooper.
come.
You won't go anywhere under any circumstances. So You're certainly invited from 5 to 8 p.m., Cinco de Mayo, the 5th
First
of May.
Friday.
First Friday.
So you're going to be downtown anyway.
Right, West Main
Pop
Street.
in and see us. And
Yeah.
it's not at MCAT, it's at the Downtown Dance Collective.
That's where it's
Because we
at.
just wanted to be a little closer to the action
Yeah.
First Friday.
And we've got a program of dignitaries, the mayor, a county commissioner, the director of flagship, the program manager will all be on hand to a short little program about MCAT at 6 p.m.
Nice.
I can't say any more about it.
Okay.
How about Humanities Montana?
Okay, very quickly, because we have a lot of guests.
Yeah.
There is a grant deadline on April 20th, so if you're watching before April and you're involved with the Humanities Project down the line, anything that has to do with literature, history, philosophy, jurisprudence, environmental concerns, or some of the social sciences, then get in touch with me at humanitiesmontana.org.
Nice. And
There it is.
there's the website.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's welcome our guest,
Finally.
Senior Curator, Missoula Art Museum, Brandon Renches. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. So the occasion of your visit is the Missoula Art Park, which I understand is a collaborative effort between City of Missoula, Missoula Art Museum, and Adventure Cycling, your neighbors to the north.
Yes. It's a rare opportunity to be able to carve out a little niche park and this great civic enterprise that's happening. You know, I think the last park that was able to be made in the downtown area was maybe 100 years ago. So
Yeah.
I just feel like, wow, this is really incredible, and we're kind of modeling it on what you find in some of those urban areas like Portland or Seattle, where it's a little micro park, a gathering space, but we really felt like there was a strong need to be able to look at MAM and from that north side and understand that it was a place for contemporary art, give back to the community, create a gathering space, and highlight some really wonderful pieces of sculpture.
Excellent.
It's been, I mean, you've been working towards this for a long time. I know I was talking to Laura last week about all the work that all the partners have done to pull this off. So what's the celebration going to be like on Friday?
So on Friday, we've got the dedication, and it's the first time that we're kind of, you know, you can't really wall a park off. You know,
Right.
people can come and go, but we're going to formalize the park. We're going to christen the loo. We're going to have some dedications and declarations by also Mayor Engen and the Silvacell folks who've been really very active in this new technology that allows trees to be planted in a way that they can grow without having their roots impacted, which is really
Right.
important in those urban areas.
Right.
Interesting.
And the artists who've been working on these sculptures for the last year have been creating these large-scale pieces that have something to do with the bicycle, either the philosophy of the bicycle or the physical reality of the bicycle or the kind of the abstract shapes, you know, so there's lots of different interpretations, and we have 6 artists that are creating 5 sculptures. There's a couple that's been working collaboratively, and we just installed them one this morning, and we're installing the rest of the week. So every morning we've got a new artist team, and we're going out and putting those on the site finally. So really exciting. Last minute plantings, you know, just everything getting ready for this dedication.
Sure.
What time is it on Friday?
4:30
Okay.
on Friday, and there's going to be some opening remarks, the christening, like I mentioned, a tree planting because it's lines up right with Earth Day,
Right.
and then after that we're going to have a reception, and because April is such a fickle month and you don't know what you're going to get, we're going to have the reception for the outdoor sculpture inside. So you can grab a glass of champagne and wander as you will, and go in and out and look at the sculpture and meet some of the artists and hear what they have to say. It's always hard to hear from artists on a First Friday or at a dedication, so what we do is we invite them back for a program on Saturday with coffee, and there's going to be a panel with all the artists who participated just for an hour from 11 to 12. but it's going to fit right in with all of the Earth Day activities that are happening across
Oh,
Missoula.
great. And that's on Saturday
That's on Saturday morning.
at the museum.
Yep.
That's great. I didn't know
Yeah.
about that. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to hear them talk about the process of creating a work that's site-specific and
They have some amazing ideas, and their approaches to these sculptures are so enduring and in some cases revolutionary. It's really nice to be able to spend some time with how they've approached these sculptures. So we're really looking forward to that.
Are they going to be permanent, Brandon, the bike sculptures?
No, so we've modeled this on an installation that's just a seasonal installation, and seasonal is from spring until fall, so spring, summer, fall. And we really don't know what we're getting into in terms of operations and use. So this initial season, we've commissioned these pieces, and we're going to have them for that period of time. And then in the future, we might do something different. But we just wanted the opportunity to get 6 really solid sculptors making really exciting large-scale pieces, and then see how it works with the space and with the timing.
Sure, that makes
So-
sense. And they're bikes, right? So people know that adventure cycling, which started, what was it called? Bicentennial.
Bicentennial.
That it
It's my
began.
first job.
No kidding.
Oh, I didn't
You
know
worked for
that.
that?
And
And it
work
started.
steady.
It started in 1976 or a little before, right, to get people to explore America during the bicentennial.
Yep.
Yes.
By bicycle, so you see this great nation, up close and slower. And then it's evolved into adventure cycling and been around now, and it's in its 41st year, right?
Yeah. And they just went through their great remodeling
Yeah.
expansion, which was an
Yeah.
exciting time. And then this kind of evolved out of that, this
Yeah.
partnership.
And the same with MAM, when we had expanded originally in 2006, the idea for some way to activate that exterior space was on the works, but it just didn't come to fruition until now. So it's sometimes those big dreams take a little while to mature and evolve and come to fruition. So
Yeah, but you stuck with it. It's
Yeah,
so exciting.
congratulations.
It's so exciting.
And then the loo is an outdoor bathroom. It looks fun, small, and informal.
Yep.
And I know people had
Unlike
said
most public restrooms.
right that they're like panels. I don't know if Scott, you can find any pictures on the computer. I know let's see how we're doing. Oh, we
Yeah.
got 3 minutes before Lisa.
3 minutes of Lou pictures. That's
Yeah.
how it's
Oh,
done.
that would be fun.
It takes time. It needs
Yeah.
time for him to do like Art Park, Missoula
Right.
Art Park. But it has like the bottom visible, right? I know one of the concerns was, could you come up with like a comfort station that wouldn't necessarily get inhabited by the itinerant people of the street or abused in that way? And partly that's why I think it's meant to be seasonal and safe, and you can see, if anyone's
Yeah.
in there before you go in. And it has some of that sense of daring, like an outdoor shower at a beach house.
Yeah.
A little bit, because it has those panels. And
Well, and I think the potential of how to use that restroom has been untapped. As in an art context, not just how to use it. 'cause
Yeah,
I think
right.
that's pretty straightforward. But the thinking about that as something interactive,
Right.
or it's got great walls, and we've thought about graphics or vinyl or installation pieces or anything, but really providing access to a clean, nice restroom, I think, is almost a human rights issue.
yeah, there you are.
Absolutely.
And on
it
the
was
north end of town,
Yeah,
especially.
it was
Here.
a huge
Right.
need. Oh, there's a
Oh,
photo
okay,
of
yeah.
it being installed.
Yep,
Yeah.
flying through the air. So that's
The flying loo.
yeah. So that all the public restrooms get turned on the same date, and we're getting ready for that, and then getting ready to christen it and kind of have it open to the public. So I think Mayor Engen is going to do the official
Honors.
first. Yes.
Wonderful. So
Excellent.
I guess we better go to our next guest. But to summarize, the dedication of the art park is this very Friday, this being Monday the 17th.
April 21st.
April 21st.
April 21st
Yes.
at 4:30 p.m.
Yes.
is the start. And the site is the corner of Patty and Pine.
Yep.
And you really can't miss it. And
No.
then it would be like east of where the People's Market had been held. I know those guys moved across the street, while this was being
Yeah.
built last summer.
And it's an old Carnegie Library.
yeah.
Hard to miss.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to miss, people.
Are we going to film it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good. So we'll all be there.
It's historic.
So in 40 years, we can look back.
That's right. How
Exactly.
funny were they?
Brendan,
thanks,
thank
you
you for
guys.
taking
Thank
the time.
you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
See you on Friday.
We'll be right back with another guest, so stay with us. Scott's going to show you something from back behind the glass wall. MCAT is celebrating 27 years of recording and presenting the Missoula, Montana experience, our struggles and our accomplishments that mark the path to the future. We'd like to invite you to celebrate that accomplishment with a party Friday, May the 5th at the Downtown Dance Collective, 121 West Main Street.
I mean, I was just a kid. And you never knew what mood he was gonna be in when he came home. It was brutal. My dad, he would come home and there's one time where
Good job, bring it back. Chad wasn't a football player per se. He was just a kid that needed to be a part of something. I don't think he had anyone as a role model or someone showing him what to do. It's okay, you're doing good. You're okay.
Coach Marr was the only person I really trusted in this town. You know, he was always there.
And I'm so proud of you. You've done well. Done well.
And we are back with Lisa Mecklenburg-Jackson. She's representing the Montana Innocence Project. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Noah. Well, you said, just before we got on, you said, well, I don't have a specific event, but how about it? How about giving people the background on Montana
Yeah.
Innocence Project?
Yeah, so the Montana Innocence Project was founded actually in 2008, so it's a relatively new project, and it was one of the last states to have an Innocence Project. And the point of Innocence Projects is to get wrongfully convicted people out of jail. So
Right.
that's what we do. And we are actually housed at the University of Montana School of Law, which is very nice for us. We're our own 501c3, so we're not actually affiliated with the law school, but it's nice for us to be there because we use law students to do a lot of our work.
Sure. And can you explain, I mean, because is there a national innocence project, or are they just independent all state?
Yeah, well, so each state has their own innocence project, but the very first one is kind of considered the national because it's the big one. It's founded in New York.
In New York, right.
If you guys have heard of a guy named Barry Scheck.
Yeah.
He was one of the founders of the original Innocence Project. So, but each state kind of does their own thing, and for us in Montana, we will only take on cases of Montana individuals, and so it is pretty specific to what we're doing here in our state.
Can you describe to people, maybe, thinking back on one of the more dramatic reversals of a conviction, that was justified and all that sort of thing, where the Innocence Project made an extraordinary difference?
Yeah, well, so the cases take a really long time to come to fruition, and so we are just starting now to see some success with cases. They started back in 2009.
Wow.
And the Innocence Project, we actually had our first exoneration just this year. We've now had two, but that was very exciting. And our first exoneration was a fellow named Richard Rogest, who was convicted of a murder of his best friend, actually, up in Trout Creek.
I remember reading about
Yeah,
that case.
if you guys have
yeah.
heard of that. And, he all along, said he was innocent and went through just horrendous things, spent 18 years in prison.
Wow.
And then after a series of investigations made by our Innocence Project, over the years, finally realized that, there was some evidence that hadn't come out in the initial trial, and we were able to get that new evidence in, because there always has to be some kind of new evidence in order for us to open up the case again. And, we were able to to show that he couldn't have possibly done the murder, and so he was exonerated then last fall.
Kind of
So-
like an alibi or something
right,
like this.
right. Some evidence that wasn't looked into fully,
Right.
during the first go around, and
Wow.
so we've looked at probably 700 cases since we first started. 700
Amazing.
people have contacted us, but of those, which is a pretty large number,
sure.
we've only brought 7 to the
Because
litigation
it has to be
phase.
a very time-intensive and expensive
It
process.
does, and it's just a very small percentage of people that probably are actually innocent.
Yeah, so
And
you don't
that's-
take on anybody.
Right. We have a very rigorous screening process, and we're only interested in, putting our resources into somebody who's actually innocent, because we have limited staff and money and all that. But, when it works, it's certainly very important to that person, right? Because
Can
nobody
you
wants to
imagine?
see an innocent person
Yeah.
sitting in jail.
So you're a 501c3?
Correct.
So
Yep.
you rely on grants, on fundraising?
Yep,
on-
exactly, both. We get some grant. We also do some fundraising events, also rely on a number of personal donations. We have some, very generous supporters, which is terrific for us.
And absolutely essential, because, often these are people who the case hasn't been reopened, often because they don't have the money to fund
Exactly,
the
right.
sort of
right,
expensive
Oh, yeah.
Right.
detective work and
Right.
stuff.
And we will only take on clients that don't already have a lawyer. And oftentimes they don't have a lawyer because they can't afford a lawyer.
Right.
And so, they don't, we certainly
so it
don't
is
charge
a
them.
straining process.
Oh, absolutely.
So isn't it great to know that there's something like this, at least cross-checking what's going on in the justice system now?
Right.
Because I
and-
think that's a nightmare that a lot of people
Yeah.
can relate to, right? You think, I've thought it more than once, what if you were convicted of a crime you didn't commit?
Yeah.
Everyone's nightmare.
Right. And, I spend some of my day, every day, talking to some of our clients that are behind bars. And, we talk about these things. And to a person, they were all just completely shocked when they
Yeah.
were convicted because they knew that they hadn't done it. And they just assumed that the evidence would come out that would show they hadn't done it. And the next thing you know, they're behind bars. So
Wow. Yeah.
you get to feel pretty awful for them. So I'm glad that an organization like the Innocence Project exists to help these folks out.
Absolutely, and we're so lucky that Montana has their own chapter or project. And how big is the organization in Montana?
Yeah, so we're pretty small. We only have 3.5 paid staff, but we have a number of volunteers. Like I said, we use law students. We're lucky being at the university. We use some journalism students as well, social work students. And we also have a number of community members that will come in and volunteer. So we have some retired attorneys, retired judges, or different people that are interested in, bringing some justice to the world. So it's terrific. We have wonderful volunteers, but we're always looking for more. So
good.
Yeah,
And they were just showing the website, so it's mtinnocenceproject.org?
correct.
Is that right?
Yep,
And
indeed.
people can donate as well.
Yep, they can
to
donate
the
on the
website.
website. Yep, or contact us if they want to come in and volunteer. We'd love to have the help. And yeah,
Thanks so much for doing this
Yeah.
work, Lisa.
absolutely.
It's great to learn more about it.
It really is. You know what a lot of people could relate to is the making of a murderer, right? When
I
that
think
series.
this and
If I was like
Serial
other
and-
people, there were so many
Yeah.
strange revelations in the justice
Yeah.
system and so on.
And I think, I think shows like that are really bringing a lot of attention to the problem. I mean, there's been nationally now about 3,000 people that have been exonerated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of people,
It really is.
that are doing time for something that they haven't done. And speaking of making of a murderer, one of the attorneys, Dean Strang, actually came and spoke at our a big event last fall for us. He was our guest speaker.
Oh, that's great.
Very interesting guy.
As a fundraiser.
And he's on the board of the Wisconsin Innocence Project, and was nice enough to come and speak for us, and didn't charge me, so that was terrific.
Well, that guy's a
Even
saint.
gave us
That's
a donation,
really
which
great.
was even better.
So you'll have another fundraising dinner in the fall?
Yep, we usually will
good.
have something every fall at the law school. And then a lot of times we'll travel around the state in the summer as well, because we're a statewide organization, and try and get a little, generate a little notice that way as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, come on and talk about the fundraiser before it
Oh,
happens.
absolutely. That'd be terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you.
You know it. And thank you guys for hanging in there. It's about 25 after the hour. Scott's going to show you yet another PSA. Maybe he'll remind you to come to our party. I saw he did that.
He did last time.
And we'll be right back with our next guest right after this.
Sergeant Greg Amundsen with the Missoula Police Department. I'd like to talk a little bit about bicycles riding on the sidewalks in the city of Missoula, which we see a lot because Missoula is a very bike-friendly town. I would just like to let bicyclists know that they do have to yield to pedestrians on the sidewalk safely because they travel faster than a pedestrian, so they do have to do that in a safe manner. And then when you get to a crosswalk, you are actually required to slow your bicycle down to what would be called a pedestrian pace, and you cannot begin crossing until it's safe to do so.
Missoula Community Access Television works with kids in an active learning environment where they get hands-on experience in video production. MCAT offers weekly Saturday classes that spark creativity in kids from 9 to 13 years of age. Located downtown at 500 North Higgins. MCAT Saturday Drop-Ins. Create your story.
Birthdays come and go, each year adding up to a lifetime full of extraordinary moments. At Missoula Aging Services, we promote the independence, dignity, and health of older adults. We are ready to help connect seniors to the help they need. Knowing you've got friends to support you, each birthday can be special. See how we can help. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
Yeah, and we
There
are
we are.
back. We're back with Anna Semple and Leah Fitch. They are representing Missoula Forum for Children and Youth. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the one thing I didn't realize, so this can be news to the viewing audience.
And us.
Yes, and
Me
you don't know
and
about
me.
it, Kim, either. And MCAT recorded one of these things years ago, and it's like a mock crash. And it's very, very involved. Like it's a reenactment, sort of in real life, with all of its horror, because this is good for kids, to see consequences of a horrific traffic accident. So this is going to be staged at the Ogren Alliance Field on Thursday morning, about 9:30 or something. And
Wednesday morning,
Oh,
9:30.
yeah, Wednesday morning, 2 days
Wednesday.
hence.
Yeah. And so actually, yes, so there's going to be a mock crash on Wednesday, and this year is going to be for sophomores from all around in Missoula, outside of Missoula. About 1,300 sophomores are going to come.
Yeah.
And they're learning about the consequences of distracted driving, which could be like being on your cell phone, and also drinking and driving. So, yeah.
Wow. So you just bring them through
Oh, it's
one bus
scary.
at a time, and they
No,
all the girls start to cry. And
they reenact this horrific crash. There's like blood and cars on fire.
I can't even imagine. They should have had something like that when my kids
It's
were
like more
young.
scary than the
Definitely.
Passion of the Christ. It's similar, like a ritual of like, my God.
And so do you work with the school?
So yeah, a lot of the schools are coming, and we're actually doing some follow-up activities with the schools. So at Hellgate, we're hoping to do some skill building, so that if they see, someone, texting and driving, what can you do? That kind of stuff. So,
Great
but yeah,
idea.
it's not just the forum. It's actually a lot of different organizations, like St. Pat's, the police. There's going to be the helicopter that comes in.
Oh, like
Life Flight.
Yeah. So it's a community collaboration, really. So yeah.
Oh, that's a
So-
great
And the
thing.
main one, it's not like the public's invited to go, but I mean to be aware that people are trying to take deterrence
Yeah.
very seriously with distracted driving, impaired driving. And also if you live in the neighborhood, you should know
Helicopters,
the
sirens.
Right.
world is not ending,
Yeah.
at least
At Ogren
not by
Field.
design, on Wednesday morning coming, but that it all has to do with this
It's a
reenactment.
good purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you want to tell folks in general about the forum and its
Sure.
mission and what have you?
Yeah, so the Missoula Forum for Children and Youth has been around about 21 years. We are part of the county, actually. We're part of the Grants and Community Programs department. And really what we do is we're trying to promote health and well-being within youth. So part of that, we look at early childhood. What can we do to really support school readiness? Anna does a lot with our Healthy Start Missoula coalition that looks at that. We also do a lot in terms of substance abuse prevention work, and we have a few coalitions looking at prescription drugs, marijuana, and then binge drinking. So yeah, kind of what we do.
Right.
So yeah.
And I am always impressed when I look at early child development studies. There was the nursing program, for early pregnancy, and studies are showing just having this expert advice in the first 2 years of life is an extraordinary predictor for later performance, for substance abuse, or for some sort of dependency. You would never think so much is packed in the first 2 years of life, but an extraordinary amount.
And organizations like the Forum are, designed to make sure that kind of good input happens for all children in our community.
Right. If you think of people as
Exactly.
computers, they're like optimizing the boot up period. They're like, well, it's going to be a really nice program if they have their way.
And letting parents know that there are services available for everybody, and that they're for all parents, because everybody struggles with something at some point, and we need a village to raise kids. So we are lucky in Missoula that we have a lot of those programs available. And really trying to get the word out there, because oftentimes people wait until their kids get to school before they hear about things. And then it could have been a lot easier for those kids, for the parents, for everybody the whole time.
Absolutely. There are so many decisions to make in those first few years. And you can feel isolated as a new parent, I know, and or feel embarrassed that you don't know the answer that somehow you should. When a baby arrives, it's got all the information you need. And that's so not true.
No owner's manual?
No, there's lots of books, but nobody knows which ones to read.
And you don't have time to read them.
Exactly. Too many manuals. Maybe not the right ones.
Now, do you have some sort of a conference coming up? Tell us
Anna, you
about
wanna talk about that?
Yeah, our State of the Young Child event is happening. We have it every year about this time. Week of the Young Child is a national thing that happens starting next week. So there's different events you can do every day of the week with your kids. That's on the Association for the Education of Young Children's website. But in conjunction with that and Child Abuse Prevention Month, we are having our annual State of the Young Child luncheon training, and this year we're having a free family night at the Carousel as well. So
nice.
Yeah, Monday night next week. If you want to come on the 24th, 4 to 5:30, parents are welcome to bring kids and have free carousel rides. We'll have a few snacks.
Now, and who is the luncheon and the workshop targeted at?
Yeah, the trainings are usually for people who work with kids, and so anybody from childcare providers to CASA volunteers to flagship staff, they're all signing up for it now, but we still have a little bit of space. And we'll be focusing on kind of noticing concerning child sexual behavior in little kids and kind of what to do about it and how to handle it and what does that mean and how do you, who do you talk to when that happens? So that's one. And also another session on building resilience in those caregivers so that when you're dealing with a tough kid, you're able to stay calm and model good behavior for them and really make them feel safe as well and take care of yourself because it's a hard job.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good set of topics for the luncheon.
Yeah. And then the luncheon itself is after the trainings, and we have Mike Halligan from the Washington Foundation will be talking just about how we're focusing on childcare in general for the luncheon because it's a huge need right now. There's a lot of issues around it. And he's just talking about how important it is to develop our future workforce now. How do we take care of little kids so that later on we have the employees we need and to have healthy, happy citizens. We have Dr. Rob Stenger from the University of Montana Medical Resident Program talking about kind of that piece that childcare providers play and linking to health of kids, catching developmental issues and immunizations and noticing child abuse and neglect issues. And we forget that child care providers are with kids often, more than, not more than parents per se, but as much sometimes, all day long. And then we have some really exciting guests from Livingston coming out from Printing for Less that are going to talk about, they have an on-site child care that is part of their company. And so parents can utilize that. They still pay, but it's, I think, a little bit less, and they get to be right there with their kids, because availability of child care is a huge issue in Missoula. Finding a place that you feel comfortable with, and price. It costs more to send your child to child care than it does to send them to the University of Montana. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's such a huge
sobering
issue.
statistic.
Yeah.
Such a huge issue, and one that, we still have not managed to really crack.
When do moms go back to work typically? Will they say, well, you've had a child, so take off 3 months, 6 months?
Yeah, Family Medical Leave Act gives you 3 months. You don't get paid for that, though.
Right. So you get to go back to your job.
You get to keep your job during that time. And I believe you can stretch that out and do part-time and stretch the time out a little bit. So there's a few ways you can work with that. And different people handle it differently. So you can take that time period. Infant child care, often, even if you get your name on a waiting list, when you find out you're pregnant, there might not be any available when you have a baby.
Wow.
So we're just raising awareness about that and trying to think about ways that we can work better with the business community to partner. On-site child care is kind of like a gold standard, but what are the other things that we can do as a community to make this easier? Because right now it's not working for kids, it's not working for parents, and it's not working for providers.
Yeah, and it
good.
impacts the whole community.
Oh, I'm sure it must. My niece had a baby in September, and she's a school teacher, and she had to go back, I think this last week. And my mom was saying, she was crying and crying because of that separation anxiety. And the child is so little, like the notion that she's going to like a daycare from like 8 in the morning till 5 or something. Seems pretty wild.
It's difficult. I was saying before the show started, this is a million years ago, but I was supposed to go back to work after 3 months, and I couldn't do it. And I was lucky enough to have an employer who said, I think we could set up a crib, and I think this could work, Kim.
Oh, so you was that Charlie?
No, Isabel.
Oh, Isabel.
So
So
I
you
brought
brought her.
Isabel into the office with me every day for.
wow.
It only worked until she started like crawling, but.
When they're immobile, it's a little
Then we had to
easier.
find another solution. But I just think that, especially in a community like Missoula, where there's a lot of smaller businesses, you can try a flexible solution if you just think about it.
And I think that's really part of why we're doing this, is we really want people to think about, like, how can you better support the parents that work for you, or the people in your community. And then, so we're having these speakers talk during the luncheon, and then afterwards we're actually having a community conversation where we want to talk about what can we do as a community to really help resolve some of these issues and get the conversation going. So I think that'd be really
That's
exciting.
great.
That sounds really vital.
Yeah.
It really does.
And what is the date for this, for the training and luncheon?
April 25th.
Oh,
at the
coming
Hilton
up.
Garden
Next
Inn. And we have a registration page on our website at
Okay.
healthystartmissoula.org. You can just click on the little picture. There's a cute picture of a baby.
Oh, cute.
in a doctor's suit.
Healthystart.org.
Yeah, healthystartmissoula.org.
Oh,
Yeah.
healthystart.missoula.org.
Yeah, that's it.
All right,
Well,
sign up.
thank you both for coming.
Thank
in.
you guys. That's great.
Yeah, you know that. Let's see how we're doing on time. We've got to get Caroline out. And Missoula in Motion. So Missoula Riding Collaborative, they are in the wings. Missoula in Motion has a new website, and we're going to talk about that right after this.
For too long, corporate tobacco has exploited our people, manipulated our practices, and profited from our addiction. No more. If you struggle with commercial tobacco addiction, call the American Indian Commercial Tobacco Quit Line today at 1-855-372-0037 and talk to someone who understands.
your local library, igniting the passion for reading.
How would you like to have an endless supply of books, movies, music, audiobooks, and even ebooks whenever you want? Your library card can do all that, and it doesn't cost a thing. You can pick up a library card anytime the library is open, free of charge to residents. All you need is a picture ID with your current address. The library will then verify your address, and once they have, your library card will be good for life. Library card holders may borrow several items to enjoy all at once. Be sure to check the return dates, as they may vary depending on what items you check out. It's so easy to get access to all the library has to offer, and best of all, it's free. To learn more, stop by your local library or visit their website.
This message brought to you by the Greater Montana Foundation and the Montana State Library.
At Missoula Aging Services, you'll always be greeted with a warm welcome. Whether you are caring for an aging loved one or you're an older adult yourself, our friendly staff is ready to connect you to the help you need. You will always get unbiased advice, a free assessment of your needs, and personalized information about the resources available. See what we can do for you. Call 728-7682 or log on to MissoulaAgingServices.org.
Okay, we are back. Lindsay and Catherine are here from Missoula in Motion to talk about their new website, and we're going to show you that website at home and then maybe talk the home viewer through the new website. Well, welcome. Do you want to describe Missoula in Motion in general terms?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so we're a part of the city's transportation department. We've been around since 1997, and really our goal just is to increase the use of sustainable transportation and decrease the amount of single occupancy vehicle trips. So just trying to get people to choose other modes of transportation and then just not drive alone as much as possible. So
Yeah, word, as they say.
Right, and it's getting warmer, or it will be getting warmer soon. We know it will.
Somehow.
And that means you get busier, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. We have bike registration that people come downstairs for, and we give out bike lights as well. So if you're ever out and need bike lights, that's a great thing. Yeah, we're located in the lower level of City Hall, so you can always stop by for that also.
Oh, you guys are in City Hall now?
Yeah.
I could use a bike light.
You know, it used to be there, and I guess the engineers enlarged or something happened. You guys moved off of Spruce.
Yeah,
that was before our time, but
yeah,
that's what we've heard.
So free bike lights still?
Yes. Free bike lights, free bike registration. We offer route planning assistance if you need help with that, and then just any other information about like getting around town.
Excellent.
So route planning means what? If you're not clear on how you could use public transportation or some other way of getting places besides driving in your car?
Yeah, so if you are like afraid of riding your bike to work or just don't know what the best route would be, we could come to your house and help you figure out that route.
Oh,
or
my
we could,
gosh.
if you came down, we could just look at a map with you and kind of figure it out. We can also help with figuring out the best bus route that will work for your schedule. And then our new tool, which we'll talk about in a second, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, has
There's
the
some
ability to do that.
concierge service right there, though.
Say, absolutely.
Because people do think about that. You know, I usually bike or walk to work when it's not too cold, and then I will think of ways, to get around the big streets. Like if I have to cross
that's
Orange, I'm like,
people's
oh, well,
biggest
there's the
concern.
Orange Street underpass, right
Right.
there by Currents, or, I'll have to decide what do I feel most comfortable crossing Broadway. Like you know, some people are just particular, or I like the intersections to be very defined, so I choose the more defined, but not so busy. So I'll cross, say, at Ryman and Broadway, because I think, oh, okay, I've got some options, and it seems less chaotic than Higgins and Broadway.
Right.
Yeah.
But so you guys could walk somebody through preferences like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people, you know, they just think about their route is the way that they drive from point A to point B.
Oh,
So you think,
sure.
well, you would take
Yeah.
Orange, and I don't want to bike on Orange. But so yeah, we can help people realize, oh, there's, you know, a neighborhood street that maybe you could
Right,
take
just
that's-
moving one
yeah,
block
one block over.
over
So,
sometimes.
yeah, we love to help people.
That's cool. And so an extension of that is this new website, right?
Oh, that's right. We're going to unveil it. Scott will show
Sure.
it to the people.
Woohoo! All right. So yeah, Missoula in Motion. We've just purchased. So we have a new website, and we also purchased a new trip planning, trip logging platform, and also the software also allows us to have workplaces have their own networks, so they can do their own programs to promote sustainable transportation at their workplaces. So if you click that Find Your Way to Go tab, it will take you to our trip planning section of the website. And so kind of what we were just talking about discovering all of your options and finding your best route. That can be done with this just by putting in a start and a destination. And you can, you know, it's really helpful in being able to compare all of your options all in one place, and being able to see how long each one takes, the distance, the amount of calories burned, the amount of CO2 that option's using. So yeah, it's a really cool component of it.
That's a really nice thought. So a
Look
lot
at
of people,
that.
you know, their thoughts turn to weight loss in the spring. You can't
Right.
help it
Right.
because swimwear season is right on. And you're like, oh, what was I doing?
Well, and so many of us are doing Fitbit now,
Yeah, that's right.
or
I got
some
the
other
bit.
kind of watch, you know,
Yeah.
app. And so this could fit in with that
Exactly,
perfectly.
yeah. And so that first option that came up was carpooling, and so we're really excited about that, to have a carpool matching platform.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
really.
we've heard from a lot of employers and just people around town. There's been a really big need for that. It's kind of been a missing piece in the sustainable transportation kind of options that are available. So yeah, this will kind of fill that gap, and it allows people to connect with other people in their neighborhood or at their workplace that might be going in the same direction, and you can set up a carpool.
Oh, that's totally great. So you could say, you know, name and contact, whatever you're comfortable with, and say, I'm in the Upper Rattlesnake, or I'm at Miller Creek, or I'm down by the little Walmart, or
Right,
whatever.
yeah. And you can post
And then
there.
others would say, like, oh, well, I live 2 blocks from you. And
Exactly. Yeah, and so when you search, you'll be able to see that list of people who are in your area who might be going to the same direction once you put your daily commute in. And what's great is that it'll work for surrounding areas too, so like the Bitterroot, that would be a really good option
That's
for those
major,
people who
right?
drive in every day.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, and so we're really excited for the carpool component.
It's
That's
brilliant.
an exciting thing. And then you mentioned just how everyone's into their Fitbits and tracking, and so the other component isn't just the planning, but then tracking your trips. So we have the Way to Go Club, which we've had for some years, where people can go and log their trips.
Yeah.
And we reward them and provide incentives and different prizes to encourage people to maintain those behaviors. So this new platform has the ability to do that, and it's way easier than the old one, and we'll have a lot of new programs that can happen.
Oh, people should check it out. So first they go to MissoulaInMotion.com.
Yes.
Missoula in Motion will take them anywhere, I guess. It would probably go right there. And then they click on the, I forgot
Yeah,
what
Way
it
to
was on
go.
top.
Find your way to go, and you can also
Find
go
your-
there by going waytogo.missoulainmotion.com
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
if you want to go right there.
Well, and especially to try out the carpooling thing.
Oh, yeah.
For people in Lolo, that could be an enormous savings.
Right.
You know that when you get to town, if you're downtown, then you got to pay for parking. Or other places you have to, you know, you have all the wear and tear on the vehicle.
Right.
So if just 2 people could share, that's like
Yeah.
1/2 right off.
Yeah, and that's another thing we've been talking a lot about recently. Like the average cost or the average household income in Missoula in 2015 was like $43,000, and the average cost to own a vehicle that's driven just 15,000 miles a year is like $9,000. So really,
Wow.
like transportation is just such a huge burden that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about, and so we're just kind of trying to bring that to light and like make you realize how much money you can save.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really true. A car share would appeal to me too. I have a wonderful sports car, and I don't drive it, but under 3,000 miles a year because I live so close. You know, I can walk downtown.
Right,
And
yeah.
It seems so stupid. Like the insurance is like $900, and it's
Right.
$150 to register the vehicle. And well, I can't remember the other cost. You just want to wash it because it's a nice car. And so if there was like a sharing way, I would say, how dumb? Why don't 3 people own this car?
I know.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Mhm.
Now, the other thing is May is...
Bike month.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of group rides. There's just different events, activities. We have some giveaways that we do. We do breakfast on the bridge every Friday where we hand out free coffee and treats to people, not only that are biking but are also walking, or if you get off the bus and come find us, then you can get
Oh, that's
coffee and
handy.
treats too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a fun thing.
We
that
should remind
do.
people that the bus is absolutely free.
Yes.
I know. Costs you
Zero
nothing,
fare.
and you can get
Right.
anywhere you need to get.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize too, you can take the university bus. The U-Dash is also free and open to anyone. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Yeah.
electric, it's so super cool.
and they have the electric buses.
Yeah. Yeah, it charges right outside my office.
Oh, so you
it's
know.
like, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we better get Caroline
come
on,
back
but
in May,
thank
though,
you.
if you want to
Yeah.
talk about
We'd love to.
Yeah.
walk,
Bike month.
bike
Yeah,
month.
bike
Yeah,
month. That
and then
sounds
we also
great.
have the commuter challenge, which is our
Yes.
business-to-business competition that's coming up
That's right.
Oh,
the
you should
first
come
2
back and
weeks
talk
of
about
May.
that.
Okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
so
We
You
would
when
love
might come
to.
back in 2 weeks' time, can you? That's
Yeah, we'd
April
love to.
29th.
Okay.
Yeah, that would work.
Perfect.
Excellent.
All right, we better
All
get
right.
Carolyn out here
Okay,
before
so
we go
that was
home.
Missoula in Motion. People go to missoulainmotion.com and learn more about
And
it.
play all those games.
Mhm. Caroline Patterson, and she's been waiting the whole time, but she likes us, so it's all right. She will be here to talk about the Missoula Riding Collaborative and their upcoming summer camp. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Legos. Legos.
Come get your VR, virtual reality is what we are.
Editing. Editing. Hoverboard. 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 Green screen. Legos. Legos. Editing. Editing.
Come get your VR, virtual reality is what we are.
Hoverboard. 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 Green screen.
Your local library, igniting the passion for reading.
So you got yourself a library card, but how do you find what you're looking for? Well, not to worry, the old days of cards and codes have been replaced with an easy-to-use computer catalog. Simply search by title, author, or subject, and you'll get instant results telling you exactly where to locate your item. To learn more, stop by your local library or visit their website.
This message brought to you by the Greater Montana Foundation and the Montana State Library.
Oh, we're back.
Here we are.
Excuse me. We are back with Caroline Patterson. Welcome, and thank you for coming and waiting.
Thank
to be
you
on
for
this
having
show.
me. I'm
You
happy
know
to be
that.
here.
Now, you have an event coming up like soon, right?
I have an event coming up on Saturday, and it's our second year of doing the Writers' Room. It's a day of classes for adults. Most of our programming is for children, but this is our second year of doing classes for adults. So our writers are teaching poetry class and a fiction class and a class in memoir. And then we'll wrap up the day at the Radius Gallery with, just drinks and looking at art. So it's April 22nd. this
Earth
Saturday.
Day, you can't miss it.
I know.
It
Right
sounds
at
like
home?
such a great opportunity because, I mean, writing can be very lonely, and this is a chance to, if you don't have a strong writing community, sit around with other people and
Yeah.
go through that process.
And teachers, teachers can get renewal credits for it, so
great.
that's something that's really great. I think there's up to 4 renewal credits available, and it is a great chance to meet other writers and kind of see what our writers do in the classroom. And it's just fun. It's a couple of hours, so it's not a big investment if it's just something you kind of are curious about and want to try. They're very inexpensive. I think it's $28 for a class, and for students, I think it's $17. So it's really the price of a lunch.
And there are there's still room in these workshops.
And there's still room. They're filling
got
up,
your website on.
but it's you can sign up on our website, and yeah, it's very simple. So, and we'd love to have more people coming, but they're really fun. We did this last year, and we feel like it's a great way to kind of introduce people to what we're doing. And it's fun.
And the people conducting the class are part of Missoula Writing Collaborative, like the writing in the classroom programs you could
yeah,
do?
everybody teaching the classes are teachers in the Missoula Writing Collaborative, and they're all teaching right now. We're in all the Missoula schools, and we're in about 28 schools kind of in the greater Missoula area. So everybody's teaching right now, and it's just a nice chance for them to teach, work with adults and let adults, get a taste of, what they're able to do. So that's really fun.
Will the people the ideas they'll bring to the workshop things they have written before, and then they do a little reading, and people are like, well, this is my reaction, or that kind of thing?
Well, I think actually the writers are all coming prepared to do exercises with people. So fiction exercises, maybe working on a scene. I'm teaching a class for parents and kids to write a poem together.
Oh,
so my idea was to do a haiban, which is a combination of a haiku and a longer paragraph in between the haikus. So my idea was to do, it would be like a poetry postcard of a vacation together, or some kind of experience. So the parent or the child could pick who does the haiku and who does the more descriptive part about an adventure together. And it'd just be fun. I think it'd be really fun to just work on something together as a parent and a kid. So that's something that I came up with, and it was actually something a funder asked me about if we ever did classes for parents and kids together, and I thought that's such a great idea.
Really great idea.
So we're just trying that out right now.
So you don't have to have any material that you've created beforehand.
You can just sign up and
dive in.
Bring, we'll have notebooks. You just need a pencil and paper, and we're ready to go.
Now, the other thing you have coming up that we want to be sure to talk about were the summer camps.
Yeah, I saw them on the website just when Scott was showing the people.
So we have our 12th year, I believe, of summer camps at the University of Montana, and we have 2 weeks, and we have the summer camp for 8 to 14-year-olds, and those are July 10th through the 14th and the 17th through the 21st of July. And then we also, last year we started a teen camp. It's called the Rattlesnake Writing Studio. And that's like a creative writing camp. So they do fiction, poetry, and then songwriting also. And that's been really fun to start. And the kids last year had a really great time. The fiction writers helped the songwriters, and they did music on Pea Green Boat. They wrote like a sea shanty, and then this beautiful kind of new age song, and that was really fun for the kids to do. So that's why this year we decided just to do a creative writing camp for the older kids. But they'll do a lot of different things. The younger kids are gonna go to Cafe Dolce and watch pasta being made, and then write about food, which will be really fun. And they're gonna go to the river and write poems about water, and then they're gonna go to the Museum of Art and Culture and write ekphrastic poems, which is poems that in response to art, and that's always a really successful venture.
Yeah.
We always get really great poems from that, so it should be really fun.
Oh yeah. So if people at home are interested, they should go to the website.
Right, all
Scott
the
was just
details are
showing.
there.
Yeah, everything, the writer's room, the Words with Wings summer camp, and the Rattlesnake Writing Studio are all on the website, and they can sign up right there.
And how you
Excellent.
can donate to support the Missoula
And
Writing
a
Collaborative.
donation button, let's not forget.
Don't
That's right.
forget that part.
Well, you've got exciting stuff coming up, and those summer camps
Yeah.
have grown and are such so impressive. I mean,
Congratulations.
yeah,
Thank
great
you.
work, great
Well,
work.
thank you.
I know we better
This guy's
go.
telling us we're
Let's
like
see
out of
his
time. Done.
One
We're
finger,
done.
that means
I
1 minute.
know.
But we will come back to you, dear viewers, in 2 weeks' time. And we promise we will have a reprise of Missoula in Motion in May.
Yes, right.
And there'll be, I guess, lots of other things going on. So fare thee well. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
And I'm Kim Anderson.
We'll see you next time.